Welcome to the bright side of 50. Hey, y'all. Hey, welcome to another episode of the bright side of 50 with Carla Palmer. How are you guys doing today? I'm super excited that you're here with me. We're on the couch together today, guys. So I'm in a different place in my apartment. And I was like, let me test out an episode here and see if I can get a little bit more comfortable. Because of what I want the bright side of 50 to feel like, sometimes, especially when it's a solo episode like today, I want it to feel like I'm on the couch and you're over here and we're just chatting together. So that's what I want it to start to feel like. So today I wanted to talk about my job. I don't think I talk about it enough, the work that I do. And it's such a huge part of my life that I need to talk about it here on the podcast every now and then, so that you guys know what it is that I do. And when I say that, I'm going through a stressful time right now, you kind of know where some of that stress is coming from. So I serve as director of development for a nonprofit organization in Los Angeles. We work with LA County foster youth. So under the umbrella of United Friends, we have two programs. We have a transitional housing program, and that is for foster youth who have emancipated, turned 18, have to leave the foster care system, no longer a ward of the court, and they're out on their own. So we take in homeless foster youth because once they leave the care of the home, if they're not going to college and getting set up in a dorm or something like that, or have somewhere to go because they've got a roommate they can move in with, which is really hard, especially in somewhere like California, they run this imminent risk of being homeless. So our transitional housing program, it's called the Pathways program, takes in emancipated homeless foster youth, and they can stay in that program for up to 36 months. And while they're there, they get a number of different services: mental health support, life skills services, career and education support, and just a community of other youth who have been through the foster care system. And the goal of that program is for the foster youth to exit that program and be able to live self-sufficiently. All right. So they're able to go and get a job or continue with school and get an apartment, permanent, stable housing. That is the goal of that particular program. And then we have another program. It's called the Education Scholars Program. Hey, sis. Hey, I just wanted to take a moment to ask you, have you subscribed to the Bright Side of 50 with Carla Palmer? If you have not, could you please take a moment, if you like the podcast, take a moment now to hit the subscribe button so that you become a subscriber. Turn on your notifications so that you're notified when a new episode drops, okay? Also, follow me on Instagram. I am the Bright Side of 50 over there on Instagram too. Thank you so much. Now I'll let you get back to the episode. And that program works with kids who are still in foster care all the way through the completion of a college degree. So we start at sixth grade. In sixth grade, if you're in foster care, you are in a caregiver's home, and that caregiver works with you while you're in their home. Hopefully that's the only home that you have. But unfortunately, many foster youth will go through a number of different homes while they are in the system, especially if they're in it for a long period of time and they're not reunified with their parents. Yeah, they could end up in several different homes while they are in foster care. All right, I met a girl once, y'all. This baby had been in like 45 different placements by the time she got to our transitional housing program. After she had emancipated from foster care, she came and stayed with us in our program for 36 months. And she had been in 45 different placements. Now, think about that. 35 different placements. Every time you are moved from one place to the next, you are disrupted on so many levels. You're disrupted in your spirit. You're going back into a new environment where you don't know anybody. Sometimes these kids just kind of have to be a chameleon. Like when they go from one spot to a next spot, then they have to, fit in the best way they can into that new home. So psychologically, that's very damaging. And then you are changing schools. Sometimes maybe it's not in the same school district. So you're often changing schools on a number of different occasions. And then you are probably not making a lot of friends because you don't trust people. You don't trust that you're going to be able to maintain that friendship because you don't know what's going to be happening with you in the months or the years to come. And so foster youth start to often isolate and feel like, man, what am I going to do? I don't have anybody. I don't have a consistent anything. And it gets really tough for them. So our counselors work with them while they're still in care. And if they are moved from one placement to the next, our counselors are still there for them. As long as they remain in LA County is really big. So as long as they remain in LA County or in the Antelope Valley, which is on the outskirts of Los Angeles, then they can stay in our program and continue to get the amazing services that we provide. All right. So those are the programs that we offer. What do I do at United Friends, the organization that I've been so blessed to work with for the past 20 years? I made 20 years in November. I'm so proud of myself for having this wonderful job for this long. And no, I haven't been in the same position. I've had 6 different roles since I've been here.
You might wonder, how did we come to know these superstars who are willing to use their voices to put United Friends on the map? The answer is Carla Palmer. For the past 20 years, Carla has been a vital part of UFC, and the lives she has touched as a counselor and the people she has reached as our head of development are a testament to her giant heart and her incredible success. So, raise your hand if you, like us, are members of the Carla Palmer fan club.
Carla, you have made a difference in the lives of thousands of foster youth. Your entire United Friends family and your avid fan club are grateful to you.
Currently, I serve as the director of development on the fundraising team. All right. So I have my team. We raise funds through grants and foundations, individual gifts, right? We call gifts donations, same thing. And then we have events. We have campaigns. It's a fun thing to do, but it can often get pretty stressful. So there are seasons where I'm like, oh my goodness, especially if it's at event season or, because you got a goal that you've got to reach, you got a financial goal that you have to set. And so at the beginning of the fiscal year, our fiscal year starts July 1, I have to set new fundraising goals. What is this fiscal year going to look like for the development team? What are going to be our revenue streams? And how much revenue in each of those revenue streams are we going to bring in for this fiscal year? What's necessary, right? Like what's the floor? Like what do we have to raise? And then what would we like to raise above that floor? All right. So me, my team, I have a colleague who is the director of grants and foundations. So we work together to come up with this development plan that we're going to execute for the fiscal year. Now, I said event season can often be pretty stressful, but also the end of the fiscal year can be pretty stressful if you are not on target to reach your actual goals that you set for the entire fiscal year, right? That's the crunch time. End of year giving is really important because it tells you kind of like, okay, we're halfway there through the fiscal year. Where are we? What is it looking like? And then the end of the fiscal year, the actual fiscal year ending June 30th, when that is approaching, you're like, okay, what does the money look like? Where are we? Where's the gap? And if there is a gap, how are we going to fill that need? Okay. So that's what I do. I just thought it was important for me to share that with you guys because I'm a podcaster. Yes, I love this podcast, but this podcast doesn't pay my bills. Because it doesn't make a ton of money. It doesn't make any money, honestly. I mean, the way you make money on podcasting is if you've got sponsors or you've got like a huge audience and some sort of membership maybe for them to hear kind of behind the scenes with those kinds of things going on. I don't have that. So I'm podcasting because I love podcasting. I'm a giver. And so if I can impart anything to those of you who listen to the podcast, it's not a ton of you, but for those of you who do, I'm so appreciative that you are here. I am grateful for you, because then who would I be talking to? Okay, so we're all in this thing together. And I know that there are women out there who are like me, ambitious, good human beings who are trying to live life right and are trying to live life in a bright way. And so that's when you see the bright side of 50. You'll see a small b, lowercase, and a capital R, IGHT, because it's the bright side and it's the right side. How do you get on the right side? You get on the right side by looking at your life and asking yourself, in what area do I need to improve? Because there are relationships, right? Whether they are personal relationships with friends and family, or romantic relationships. What does that look like? Are those relationships where you would like for them to be? How do you feel in those relationships? And so taking an assessment of what your relationships look like in your life, your circle of influence, the people you spend the most time with, are they good? Are they solid? Or do you need to work on that? And as you begin to work on that, then that makes your life a lot brighter. Maybe it's your finances that are not where you need them to be or desire them to be. Maybe they're just helping you meet your basic needs and you want to do a little bit more. Maybe you are not really sure what your retirement is going to look like, and you're going to start planning for that retirement. Hopefully we've started planning before 50, but some of us don't have like a huge amount of savings that we've been able to save or invest. And sometimes it doesn't look as great as we think it should look. So maybe we need to focus in on that and figure out how to get on the bright side of that, right? Spiritually, how is your spirit? What are you allowing into your spirit? I talk about some of those things on episodes, right? So we want our spirit. We want to be in a bright spirit. We don't want to be in a spirit of darkness. Our relationship with God, I say God because I believe in God, but whatever you believe in, hopefully is God. I'm just going to say that as a Christian. I hope you believe in God. And I hope that you are spending time talking to him and praying, and those things are going to help you live on the bright side. All right. So, yes, the podcast episode today was about what I do as a professional. I think it's important because I want you guys to see, like, I work just like everybody else. My life is not super easy as it relates to work. I get stressed out. I get overwhelmed just like everybody else. And I also wanted you to know that I care about you. I care about you. I care about you feeling seen and heard through any messaging that I put out there. I care about you being better and wanting to understand where some of those low points in your life, whether it's your finances, relationships, spiritual walk, mental, your career, whatever is happening there. I want you to know that you're not alone. And I also want you to know that there are ways that you can get on the brighter side of those things if you are feeling bad or not feeling like you're up to par in those areas. There is a way to get to the bright side. So I hope that makes sense. I hope this is helpful. I hope you enjoyed sitting on the couch with me and chatting it up. And I look forward to more of these couch sessions. I look forward to more interviews with people who are going to come onto the podcast and share the areas that they're knowledgeable in that I may not be as knowledgeable in. And again, learning together with you. I look forward to that. I also look forward to you sharing this podcast out. So share it out. If anything resonates with you, or you think, oh my gosh, I got to send that to Susan, or I got to send that to Olivia because I know she'll love this episode, or I know she'll love Carla and the podcast. Like, if you think that there is somebody in your circle of influence, or even if anybody that you're following or you're connected with on social media, LinkedIn, YouTube, IG, TikTok, like just share out the podcast. That's the way that you can help support the podcast. The way that you support is showing up, and you are showing up. So thank you. And leaving a comment in the Q&A section or the comment section on Spotify or YouTube. That's how you show up. And also just sharing the podcast out. So I thank you for being here, and I will see you on the next episode of The Bright Side of 50. If you want more information about the organization that serves foster youth here in Los Angeles County, you can find us at www.unitedfriends.org. Okay, unitedfriends.org. That's where you find more out about us. If you are somebody who can financially support the organization and you love to do that, you can give a gift over on the website. If you are a corporation or you work for a corporation who has a pillar that likes to support education or underserved populations, communities, maybe this is an organization that you can look at supporting, especially if your corporation is a national or global corporation that is also in Los Angeles. That would be a really, really great thing for you to do, is look at how that organization or corporation might be able to support LA foster youth. All right. I'm a Lego. I will see you on the next episode of The Bright Side of 50. Take care.